Hello Cancer, Cancer Rising and Cancer Moon people. This is your monthly astrological horoscope for March 2017. And a quick reminder that this is all about the big sweeping long-term seasonal trends of the month. So, if you're looking for things that are more on the day-to-day, short-term, I would highly recommend checking out the weekly horoscopes. The first half is exclusively astrology, for those of you who prefer astrology exclusively, so there is something for everyone there. And of course, if you'd ever like to get a session with me, you can always follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com. So, what is going on this week, not this week, almost said this week like it's a weekly, with this month as far as your astrology is concerned? Well, I'm doing things a little bit differently because we have an unprecedented amount of planetary energy in one sign. We've got Venus, Mercury, the Sun, a new moon, and Uranus all in Aries this month. So a lot of focus is going to be on your 10th house, the area that rules your career, promotion, upward mobility, as well as raises, and, in a big part, it's one of the primary money sectors. So this is going to be a really, really interesting month for a lot of you. And it all starts in the beginning of the month with Jupiter, currently retrograde in Libra in your 4th house of home and family, forming a lovely connection to Uranus in this 10th house of career. And this is a huge breakthrough opportunity that's going to be sort of saturating the first 3 weeks of the month. And this could have to do with a new sort of financial status being blessed upon you or given to you throughout the course of this month. This could spell a promotion, this could spell a new opportunity or a way to make something big that we need for the home, or maybe even a home purchase or a home move or a home repair more affordable, or just make it accessible to us now. This could also indicate some kind of big payoff coming to the work front that again comes from the assistance of a family member, or if you are working from home, this could actually be a big boon to the earning potential of your own home business or your self-employment enterprise. So in a lot of ways, we're already starting off this month on a financial gain. In fact, we do also have this Venus retrograde that's going to be going on from the beginning of the month all the way through this area. And Venus retrograde's interesting in the 10th house because it doesn't really hurt our money in a way, because people think of Venus retrograde and they accidentally often think of Mercury retrograde, and they're just not the same. Mercury retrograde plays on the mind and on the communications, whereas Venus retrograde talks more about feelings. And we have a lot of breakthrough, a lot of growth, a lot of financial gains and profits coming this month. Even though Venus is retrograde, Venus is still here. But we have to be careful because Venus retrograde can lead us to temptation in a lot of ways. There are 3 things that happen with Venus retrograde. We've got that temptation, possibly some insecurity and some trust issues, and then we also have this focus on sort of instant gratification, focus on feeling good in the now, and, risk-taking, because some people will do things just to make themselves feel better in the moment, to take the edge off, but they're not thinking of playing a longer game or the bigger picture. Now, interestingly enough, this can work to your benefit, or it might not. We've all got to be more mindful and responsible during any retrograde. Because with Venus retrograde, we're going to be offered a lot of opportunities to boost our upward mobility, seal a great idea for a job, or maybe even seal some ideal pay for a job. But be careful, this thing can make people a bit more cutthroat, a bit more competitive, and a bit more sensitive when it comes to work, when it comes to the opportunity to being able to gain promotions. There could be some problems this month when it comes to teammates, testing each other's loyalty, maybe being a bit superficial, maybe also being a bit underhanded, or maybe everyone's kind of doing a dog-eat-dog, looking out for number one kind of mentality, but they're taking it too far. Now, what's interesting about this is, again, Venus retrograde is it's almost like the Battle of 5 Armies, in the Hobbit movie. Not the movie was awful. Let's talk about the book. everyone was going after the gold, right? It was all about the gold. It was all about, so everyone, dwarves, elves, hobbits, goblins, all of those things, going after this big treasure. And that's kind of what I see happening this month. And if we can find a way that everyone can be friends and everyone can share and everyone, doesn't have to be greedy and they don't have to tie up their self-esteem in being the winner, this can be a wonderful month. But I'm not sure everyone's going to make it, and sometimes we may have to deal with some work colleagues or maybe even a boss who is not understanding that a win-win is not a loss, a tie is not a loss, and so there's going to be a huge focus on that this month, but the getting's going to be good. We've also got, in the beginning of the month, Mars moving into your 11th house of friendships and social networking, where he will stay for the vast majority of the month, well actually the whole duration of the month, and into the vast majority of April, I should say. And with Mars is in your 11th house, your friendships, the ones you really trust, are getting tighter, okay? Because with Mars, it's about honor, it's about warrior's honor, fighting back to back, getting closer to people that would do and die and do anything for you. Not only would they take a bullet, but they'd also hide a body for you. This is the kind of energy we have going on here. And it feels like with Mars, you're finding that there is a need to kind of get closer and tighter with people and have more of those people in your life, reconnecting with more of those people, and making sure that we're not letting things like money and competitiveness and relationships and things like that get in the way. Sometimes relationships or again work or family and things like that have a tendency to put tests on friendships that are stronger and longer than the bonds that are actually challenging them in the first place. So we're working on healing those things. Sometimes it's like, why would we, if we've had this really good, tight friend that we've been with, for ages and ages and ages, why would that change because we got into a relationship? Why would that change because we got a job? Why would we, they were there before all that. So we're working on kind of building up and re-strengthening those ties, which is a good way to take the edge off of this Venus retrograde. And I like Mars in the 11th house as well, because you've also got people going to bat for you, people championing your cause, people sticking up for you, and people even going to war for you this month, which is really nice. So if you need that backup, or you need people to kind of be that extra pair of hands, extra pair of eyes, you've got it. We've also got a full moon occurring in Virgo, in your 3rd house of communications, pacts, promises, and contracts, in the middle of the month, around the 10th to the 11th. And in the middle of the month, this is going to be a time for a lot of you to be able to escape something that has been binding you up. Whether it's an obligation like a contract, like a payment arrangement, or a contract with, say, a lease, or some kind of bind, something that you can't seem to get out of, something that you really know is kind of holding you back. We have an escape route coming from this. We have a clearing. We have a, sort of a negating of that bind. And whatever's happening here is working absolutely in your favor. So I don't want you to think that this is a bad thing a good thing going away. It's a bad thing going away. Some people hear what they want to hear or what they're afraid of instead of what's really going on. So I always like to throw that out there. But with, with this full moon, is there something that needs severing? Is there an obligation? Or maybe even, some kind of task or some kind of thing that's in your routine that we need to release, we need to get rid of, here and henceforth. This is what this full moon is all about. It's sort of breaking away from a chain that has been tying you down. Later on, we've got Mercury moving into Aries, into this 10th house of career, where it's going to be staying pretty much for the last 2 weeks of the month. And when we have Mercury in Aries, we're talking about speeding things up. We're speeding up developments in your career sector. What has been taking too long? I've been telling everyone this is what this Mercury in Aries is all about. It's kind of picking up the pace. Whatever's been too sluggish, whatever's been too slow, whether it's just papers that need to be pushed, dialogues that need to be products that need to be finalized, things that need to be launched. This is a great month for it. Definitely do it this month. Don't procrastinate it till April. April's going to have that Mercury retrograde, but we're focusing on the here and now. And with Mercury going into Aries as well, we are opening up dialogues with people that we've had a hard time communicating with before. Maybe they were inaccessible. Maybe it's not because they were inaccessible, but sometimes, again, this Venus retrograde can make it hard to talk to people because When people feel like there's a fight, they don't listen very well. When people feel like they're being put on the spot, or we're in a competition, Battle of Five Armies kind of thing, they don't listen at all to the opposition. They don't create a dialogue. They don't reach across the desk or across the hall the way they should, which is too bad. But luckily with Mercury we have people kind of getting over themselves and maybe even getting over their defensiveness. And luckily that means that everyone's going to be able to strike up some kind of deal during this Mercury retrograde that's going to work out. Again, it's going to be for your career and financial benefit. We've got the Sun moving into this area, into the 10th house, increasing the yield, the fruits of your labor, increasing the payoff. So from the 20th of this month all the way up until the 20th of April, a lot of you are going to be noticing that even the littlest accomplishments that you have a much bigger reward and award. And the Sun is also going to be improving your relationship with your career in general. If you're looking to make some kind of switch, some kind of shift, get into a different vocation, maybe update your experience, update your training, update your resume, get you more popular, put you in more demand, make you seen. If you feel like it's been hard for a lot of you Cancer people to be seen, to be noticed, whether you're looking for a new job or on the job, this is the kind of aspect you want to see. Especially because we have a new moon in this area towards the end of the month, which is great for, again, new opportunities, a new seed being planted, a new era being born when it comes to your work and your financial life. And even if you're not working, say you're retired, or, you're just simply, you're doing something else, the 10th house can also talk about how you connect to your community as a leader, how you find a sense of making your mark on the world. Our sense of purpose begins with the 10th house. And so a new way to get that started in a way that actually not only makes your mark on the world, but connects you with a greater populace, gets you out and about, gets you integrated, gets you circulating in a good way. This is what we want to see. And this new moon is going to be highly beneficial for that. Finally, towards the end of the month, we do have Mercury moving into Taurus, into your 11th house of friendships and social networking, where we're going to be working on connecting you with more people in general, quite possibly with the opportunity of turning it into even a romantic opportunity. Because towards the end of this month, with Mercury going into Taurus, there's a chance that people are going to be, not only are you popular, but you're going to be meeting people in bigger crowds, in bigger groups, being able to have places to put yourself out there. I always tell people when Mercury's in your 11th house, you do have to meet it halfway. You've got to put yourself out there. No good trying to look for love in the closet at home. So it's definitely a really good way to kind of get a reward or incentive to do that, because again, we've got your name circulating, and all this attention we're grabbing with the Sun in our 10th house is going to get us noticed by the special someones in all aspects of our lives. So that is your forecast, Cancer. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it. And of course, if you'd like to get a session, you can always follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com.